In this video, I will talk about residuals of regression equation. Here we have randomly selected sample of 6 students in a statistic class and recorded their exam scores and number of hours studied as follows. I will show you how to find regression equation using calculator and Excel. First, let me show you how to find regression equation using calculator. For that, let me pull up my calculator up on the screen. So whenever you are trying to find regression equation, you will have to turn diagnostic on. So for that, go to second, go to catalog, use this arrow key to go all the way down to diagnostic on. So we need this one here. So select diagnostic on, then hit enter and hit enter. So once you see this message here, then go to stat. Then make sure your edit is highlighted, then hit enter. Now you will be entering your data in list 1 and list 2. So your X values will go in list 1 and your Y values will go in list 2. Let's enter the data here. So 5, 3, 9, 4, 1, and 7. And for list 2, we have 70, 65, 85, 50, 30, and 90. So once we are done entering data, we would need to go to Stat, then select Calc, then use this arrow key to select Calc. Then we'll be using number 4 function here. So use this arrow key to go to number 4 where it says LINREG parenthesis AX plus B. That's what we will need. Then hit enter. So your X list should be list 1 and your Y list should be list 2 because that's where we enter our data in list 1 and list 2. Now come down here to calculate, then hit enter. So you'll get this in your calculator. So here, the one next to X is the slope, which is given by A in calculator, and it is given by B1 in our formula. So B1 is 6.9, this number here. And our Y-intercept is B, so this one. Now, let me write down the value of Y-intercept and slope here. So our B0 or Y-intercept is 31.26531, which is approximately equal to 31.265, and our slope or B1 is 6.979592, which is approximately equal to 6.980. So we have a regression equation in the form of y hat equals to b0 plus b1x. Now all we need to do is substitute our value of b0 and b1 in this regression equation and get the regression equation for this given data. So let's do that. On doing that, we get y hat equals to 31.265 plus 6.980x. So this is the regression equation for the given data. So now let me show you how to find the regression equation using Excel. So for that, let me pull up my Excel up on the screen. Here I have already entered this data here. The first thing you need to do is enter your X values and Y values like the way I did on the Excel. Then after that, you'll need to select this data here. Then go to insert. So come down to charts here and then select this. Once you select that, you'll get this scatter plot here on the Excel. And once you have the scatter plot, you'll need to, so on these points here, you'll need to right click on one of the points here. So you can right click on any of these points. So let me just right click on this one here. So you'll see this message and you need to choose add trend line. So select that. Then you'll see these options and come down here. So we will need to check display equation on chart. So click on that box. Once you click on that box, let me move my equation here. Once you click that box down here, you should see the regression equation on your scatter plot. Let me exit out of that. So this is the regression equation that we got using Excel, and this is exactly what we got using calculator also. This is the regression equation we just found using Excel and calculator. Now let's define residual. The difference between the predicted value y hat and the observed score y is residual. Now let's find residuals for the given data and graph them. To find the residuals, let's work on this table here. So here, to find y hat, we can just use this formula. And once we have y hat, we can easily find residual. Now you can easily find y hat in Excel, creating the formula for y hat. So for that, let me pull up my Excel up on the screen. So here I have already entered the values for x and y. So let me label this column as y hat. So that is y hat. Now let me make a formula. So we know y hat equals to 31.265, which is, for us to create the formula, we can type equals, then 31.265 plus 6.980 times x. So for this y hat, our x is 5, so that's what we'll be using. Then hit enter. So this is y hat when our x is 5. For here, we have to find out y hat when our x is 3, and here we have to find out our y hat when x is 9. So you will have to keep on doing for rest of that. In Excel, it's really easy. If you select this cell, and then you'll see this plus sign here. If you drag this all the way down to here, it will just copy the formula, so you don't have to do it individually. So I just did that, and it just copied the formula until here. And so this is y hat when x is 3, and this is y hat when x is 9, and this is y hat when x is 4. So same thing for the rest of the x values also. Now let me move my Excel so that we can see this on the screen on our background. And we also need residual. So for that, let me label this as residual. So our residual is y minus y hat. Now let's calculate residual, and we know residual is y minus y hat. So now let's create the formula for residual, which is y minus y hat. So our y is 70 minus our y hat is this. Then hit enter. So this is the residual when our y is 70 and our y hat is 66.165, this number here. And here we'll have to calculate residual for each of these y values and y hat values. Since we created the formula here, we can just copy the formula down. So all you need to do is select this cell, and whenever you see this plus sign, just drag that all the way down to here, and it will just copy the formula automatically. Now let me copy the value of y hat and residual over here on our slide. Here I just copied all the values that we got for y hat and residual using Excel. Now let's graph them. On this graph here, horizontal axis is number of hours studied, and our vertical axis is residual. So for us to graph this, our x is 5. So our 5 is here, and our residual is 3.835. So let's say 3.835 is here. Let's go to the next point here. Our x is 3 and our residual is 12.795. So 3 is here, and let's say 12.795 is here. Okay. So the next point here is 9 minus 9.085. So 9 is here, and negative 9.085, let's say that's here. The next point is 4 minus 9.185. So 4 is here, and negative 9.185 is here. So the other point is 1. is here, and minus 8.245 is, let's say, it's over here. And finally, the last point is 7, and our residual is 9.875. Let's say that is over here. So looking at this graph here, we can say that for randomly selected data, residuals are positive and negative, and they do not follow any pattern, just like what we got here.